other than Joe Theismann started at quarterback for Washington, Jimmy Carter still lived there. Ironically, Jay Schrader's handling of the football last Sunday often resembled the former president's waffling of the issues. Meanwhile, Scott Campbell, in his first start for the Steelers, emerged as a strong candidate to take over the top quarterback spot in Pittsburgh. What ultimately turned the tide, however, in the battle of backup quarterbacks was the continued clutch play of the Redskins' special teams. Ken Jenkins' 95-yard kickoff return set up Washington's first score, while a settled-down Schrader contributed to another when he hit Clint Didier on a timing pattern that even Joe Theismann could not have executed better. The Redskins led 20-17 at the half and put the game away for good when John Riggins pounded out his 104th career rushing touchdown. Riggins' TD left him just too short of Jimmy Brown's all-time NFL record. Just as important, it propelled Washington to a 30-23 victory that kept them one game off the pace in the NFC East. In St. Louis, what slim hopes the Cardinals had of keeping pace in their division came to an official and bone-jarring end. The Cardinals could not withstand the pressure of the Giants' league-leading pass rush. In the process, they turned over the football 5 times. Meanwhile, wide receiver Lionel Manuel, number 86, gave St. Louis a lesson in what it takes to hold on to the ball. The Giants took a 10-3 halftime lead and then ran the Cardinals into the ground behind the efforts of George Adams, number 33. The number 1 draft pick ran for a career-high 113 yards as the Giants crushed the Cardinals 34-3 to maintain a share of the NFC East lead. In Dallas, the Philadelphia Eagles gathered together like knights around King Arthur's round table to renew a rivalry that in recent years has become anything but holy. In a game that was filled with plenty of spearing and jousting, the Eagles struck straight into the heart of the Cowboy defense with a secret weapon named Herman Hunter, number 36. In his only carry of the game, Hunter, a reserve running back, raced to a 74-yard touchdown. But the majority of the Eagles' 400-plus total yards were registered by quarterback Ron Jaworski, who hit on 23 of 42 passes, including this touchdown toss to Mike Quick, number 82. It has been over 10 years since the Cowboys have lost 2 straight at home. But like a white knight in shining armor, a quarterback named Danny came to their rescue. White hit on 3 touchdown passes, including 2 to tight end Doug Cosby, as the Cowboys rallied from a 3-point first-quarter deficit to take a 27-10 lead. Running back Tony Dorsett rounded out the scoring when a perfect block from number 70, Howard Richards, cleared a path to the end zone. The Cowboys prevailed 34-17. The loss dropped the Eagles to 6-6. And like the knights of old around King Arthur's table, they might need Merlin's magic in order to contend with the division-leading Giants and Cowboys. The importance of simulating game conditions for his players, but not even Weish could have envisioned how ominous his pregame harassment would become. Cleveland recorded 5 sacks and held the AFC's highest scoring offense to 2 field goals. While the defense delivered a good old-fashioned butt-kicking, the offense harkened back to yesteryear as well, with shades of Jim Marshall's famous wrong-way run. Once Cleveland forged ahead and moved the right way, things started going their way. Clarence Weathers raced 72 yards with this Gary Danielson pass, one of only 9 thrown on the day. The fewest Browns attempts since 1956. But Cleveland didn't need to pass, not when they could rely on the running of number 34, Kevin Mack. The Browns' Big Mac attack took a bite out of the Cincinnati defense, gobbling up 117 yards and 2 touchdowns as Cleveland prevailed 24-6, giving them a share of first in the AFC Central. In Buffalo, forlorn fans resembled cadavers much like the Bills, who have played like the team of the living dead. But last Sunday, it was the Dolphins who looked rather monstrous. It didn't take long, though, for Miami's play to be transformed from ghastly to glorious. Two Dan Marino touchdown passes gave Miami an early lead, but Buffalo quarterback Bruce Matheson brought the Bills right back with some picturesque passing of his own. Andre Reed's diving catch worked like a life preserver for this drowning team. And when Matheson hit number 80, Jerry Butler, for his first touchdown in 2 years, the Bills' hopes of an upset were afloat. But Miami blanked the Bills for the duration, thanks to number 55, Hugh Green, who finally has gelled since moving south from Tampa. Ironically, the league's second-ranked passing attack relied on its ground game, which amassed 172 yards to put the game away 23-14. It's been a long time since the Kansas City Chiefs have had a quarterback they can depend on. But with a club record 7-game losing streak, Todd Blackledge has been given the starting nod to try and resurrect the remainder of the season. Early in the game against the Colts, though, Blackledge found he had to rebuild his confidence more than anything. After this drive-killing interception, the third-year pro proved that his passes had the brawn to go along with their beauty. Blackledge threw for 246 yards and 1 touchdown to Stephon Page, number 83. Indianapolis finally got on the scoreboard with number 34, George Wansley's 14-yard run. But much of the Colts' running came when their quarterbacks had to escape the hard-charging rush of players like number 90, Bob Ham. While limiting their opponent to the lowest point total of the season, the Chiefs finally displayed the form that was expected of them when they were preseason playoff prospects. Mike Pruitt's run iced the 20-7 victory the Chiefs' first in September. And for the first time in nearly a decade, the Chiefs hope that they have found the quarterback that they desperately need. Last Sunday against San Diego, the Houston Oilers were forced to start quarterback Oliver Luck over the injured Warren Moon. While Moon may possess a stronger arm, Luck is an advocate of that old adage, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. It wasn't until Houston closed in on the Charger end zone that luck proved that the limb extending from his right shoulder wasn't a rabbit's foot. The Oilers built up a 17-7 halftime advantage. However, their good fortune eventually vanished at the hands of the Chargers' leprechaun-like receiver, Lionel James, number 26. James' touchdown tightened the score, but it was a Dan Fouts pass to Wes Chandler that gave San Diego a 35-34 late fourth quarter lead. But Houston got the ball back in the closing seconds, and as luck would have it, Tony Zendejas kicked a 51-yard field goal with only 2 ticks left on the clock, giving the Oilers a 37-35 win. After a 1-5 start, the 5-7 Oilers are now only one game out of first place. While Houston attempts to write a rags to riches story in the AFC Central Division, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers season has already been tattered beyond repair. Against Detroit, Tampa Bay attempted to improve its appearance by starting quarterback Steve Young. Unfortunately for Young, the fashion-conscious Lion defense came dressed to kill. In his first start, Young was put through the ringer as he was sacked 6 times. However, the Buck defense also ignored the handle with care label sewn on Eric Hippel's jersey. With Hippel left hung out to dry, a fourth quarter James Wilder touchdown run pulled Tampa Bay to within 3, 16-13. Buck place kicker Donald Igwebuike's field goal with only 1 minute remaining sent the game into overtime. Then in the sudden death period, Igwebuike's 24-yard kick gave Tampa Bay a 19-16 win. In both the Oilers and the Bucks victories, the outcome of the game was in doubt until the final play. On the other hand, in Los Angeles, the opening kickoff provided a good indication of the eventual winner. Number 89, Ron Brown, an Olympic gold medal winning sprinter who now runs to the chant of L.A. rather than USA, took the kick 98 yards for a touchdown. Green Bay tied the score at 7, but on the following kickoff, Brown recorded an achievement as rare as Carl Lewis's 4 gold performance during the summer game. Brown raced 86 yards to become only the 3rd player in NFL history, along with Timmy Brown of the Eagles and Travis Williams of the Packers, to return 2 kickoffs for touchdowns in one game. Number 89 added a touchdown reception as he single-handedly helped the Rams defeat Green Bay 34-17. In Minnesota, sparks were also flying from the heels of New Orleans running backs. The Saints rushed for 234 yards, which included a 160-yard afternoon by the almost forgotten Earl Campbell, number 35. Campbell also added his first touchdown as a Saint. But while New Orleans was busy winning the ground war, the Vikings' strength was in their air attack. Minnesota kept the game close until with less than a minute remaining, New Orleans went on top for good. Bobby Hebert's touchdown pass to John Tice gave the Saints a 30-23 victory. Ironically, following the game, Bum Phillips resigned as New Orleans head coach. And although his disappointments with the Saints have been many, Bum left the game as only a proud cowboy could, with a win. The New York Jets wore the look of someone who had stood toe-to-toe with Marvin Hagler. But this team, which has been an eyesore for the past few seasons, has emerged as an eye-catching contender in the AFC East. And last week, they slugged it out with the Patriots for first place. The most telling blow was Ken O'Brien's perfect lob to Wesley Walker, number 85. Walker's 88-yard touchdown gave the Jets a 13-3 lead. But the resilient Patriots, riding the crest of a 6-game winning streak, sent the game into sudden death on a field goal and Tony Eason's scoring shot to Cedric Jones, number 83. In the fifth period, the Jets found a savior in punt returner Kurt Sohn, number 87. Sohn's 48-yard sprint set up Pat Leahy's field goal attempt with 5 minutes left in overtime. The Jets' 16-13 victory gave them sole possession of first place in the AFC East. While they looked tailor-made for a title, one Chicago Bear didn't fit quite as snugly into his championship robe as Cher does in a Bob Mackie gown. Although William Perry's uniform number is the same as his uniform size, the refrigerator is not bolted in place, but an appliance on wheels. The Bears' quest for a perfect season is built on a smothering defense, a defense that allowed Falcon quarterback Dave Archer only the short pass. This defense, which has given up only 3 points in the last 13 quarters, produced their second straight shutout, and a safety courtesy of tackle Henry Wachter, number 7. Walter Payton sang a familiar sweet song as he tied an NFL record by rushing over 100 yards in 7 straight games. But the most popular tune in Chicago is by a local group, the Bongo Billiards, and is titled Call the Fridge. The Refrigerator's third touchdown of 1985 helped the undefeated Bears to their 12th consecutive victory, 36-0. Like the Bears, the Raider defense commits felonies, not misdemeanors. And the Denver Broncos were the victims of all manner of aggravated assault. Although not intimidated, the Broncos, leaders of the AFC West, should have called for the equalizer to even up the score. But not even vigilantes can stop Marcus Allen, number 32. Allen, the AFC's leading rusher, ran for 173 yards, including a 61-yard touchdown. The Broncos stayed close with gimmick plays and some determined running by Gerald Wilhite, number 47. A second look at the score reveals that a deft shovel pass by Elway was complemented by an Olympic long jump by the athletic Wilhite. Such heroics sent the third game of Week 12 into overtime. With a score tied at 28, Dokey Williams, number 85, ran the Raiders close to victory. Williams' 42-yard run and a face mask penalty positioned Chris Barr for the winning field goal. The Raiders' 31-28 win gave them a share of the AFC West lead as the 1985 season wound down to a 4-game stretch run for all playoff contenders.